The ending, let's talk about this real quick. So by the book, by the rule, on an inbounds pass, there is no offensive goaltending. So you can literally throw the ball and it could be in the cylinder, and a taller player such as a Deandre Ayton can touch the ball in the cylinder, dunk the basketball. We saw this a couple years ago, actually, with Tyson Chandler in Phoenix. They ran a similar play. It was more of a side out off an ATO, after a timeout. But we've seen this before. This is the crazy thing. This is what I'm going through in my mind as I'm watching this, and I see the play happen. I'm like, Monty Williams is the most detail-oriented guy I've been around. Like he's Stan Van Gundy, Brad Stevens level of just detail. There's zero chance in my mind that they haven't ran that play. They haven't prepared for that scenario.
Knowing that this was something like this could happen.
Yes, it's incredible.
So I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily know that rule. Why don't more teams run that with the guys when you have a guy like Ayton or Joel? Like, why is it not the play every time?
It's a great question, because every time I've ever practiced that play in let's say a shoot around or a walkthrough, it's always in an end game scenario. But there's no reason you couldn't run that with 7 minutes and 32 seconds in the second quarter. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you could run that whenever you wanted. So I don't know why teams don't. It's probably a little bit of a high risk play. My observation on that play, first of all, tremendous execution. Jay Crowder, great pass. Deandre Ayton, great play. Devin Booker, great screen. I really question. Like, I love Ty Lue.
He's coached his ass off.
He's been amazing in the playoffs.
This playoffs.
Amazing, and he's a championship level coach. He deserves a ton of credit. He's got the all-time best record in elimination games for NBA coaches in the playoffs. I don't understand why Zubac was in the game at that point in time, because it's a dead ball. You have a chance to sub him out, and you have a chance to put 5 players out on the court that can switch. And with that amount of time, there's no reason you shouldn't switch a back screen. I mean, I've played on teams before where on an inbounds pass, a back screen, no matter what time, score, matchup, it doesn't matter. A back screen on an inbounds pass underneath the basket is an automatic switch. At that point in the game, it's got to be a switch, Tommy. It's got to be a switch.
But so if there's different personnel, you think they switch that back screen?
I think they should have switched it even if it is Zubac. I think they should have switched it regardless. Yeah. I mean, worst case, Booker runs to space. You got a 7-footer contesting a very off-balance catch and shoot 3. You got to switch that. We should just talk about a little bit.
Can we talk about the pass for a second? That pass was fucking insane.
It was perfection. So when I've practiced that shot before, that play before, the pass is always coming from the hash mark, because you've called a timeout. There's 0.3 seconds, there's 0.2 seconds, whatever it may be. We practice, you throw it towards the rim. At that angle to get the ball where he wasn't completely underneath the basket. He had a little bit of room towards the corner, but at that angle to get the ball perfectly in the cylinder, it was perfection. I got to give him a ton of credit.